Boy, does it feel so good for Gintama to return. But we only got few chapters left. Brace yourself. I have been dreading for Gintama to return, and not only I got my satisfaction, it exceeded my expectation. Although the chapter is shorter than last time, the context still packs a heavy punch to leave you feeling awed and invested. The chapter was an outstanding setup for the grand finale, and I still have chills, goosebumps, and anything else that a man would feel when the hype is extraordinary. Once more, I'm dreading for Gintama to return. It has been a while since the last chapter, though luckily for me, I still remember the setup and the events took place. I remember Tatsuki reached to the top to confront Shoyo, while Yorozuya is reunited and running towards where the two are at. Sadly, the chapter doesn't begin with a gag like the last shift, but it's all good when the series is at its intense climax. We're in the end game now. The chapter begins with a really good hype build-up with yours truly, Sakamoto. That facial hair is doing wonder for his design as he come across like a really cool guy. I know, right? That and the artwork is very solid throughout the chapter. Clearly, Sorochi's long break helps out the clarity. Back to Sakamoto. It's all about the fate of the world, hence the chapter's title. This moment raised the stake and increased the tension as it is the finale. It's like the speech about history is written by the victor. The idea is, this is the fight that would change everything. It's the true endgame. It's incredible that Earth stays getting attacked and always come close to world destruction. It's practically fate by this point. Sakamoto always have a great speech in his arsenal, and this is no exception. The pain and struggle always come for them, but their fate will deny that fate. It highlights all the Jiao 4 scenario respectively. A good reminder after a long break is all about fighting to see the end and justify a reason they may or may not know. It's inspiring and it helps the hype level for what's to come next. Tatsuki has been stellar throughout the arc. If he was like his old self before Shogun assassination arc, his ticking time bomb to death wouldn't worry me. Now, I am anxious to know what his destination is. Needless to say, I'm deeply worried for the guy. With all that said, his confrontation with Shoyo is heartwarming, showcasing his great development. I'm really glad that he finally got to meet him alone. I wanted him to share his side of thoughts about his sensei, his comrades, and his own feelings. As rough state Tatsuki is in, he still smiles at the sight of his master. It's not Usuro, but Shoyo to his eye. He truly wants to go back home, back to the way things were. This was touching. You can feel his words and expression, how much he wanted to see him. The students may have split apart before, but now they are returning back home. It's a touching metaphor to say, family will always be family. The best part of the speech is when he contrasts his life to Gintoki's. In the midst of his speech, Otai was close to get crushed by blocks, but Yorozuya shows up in time to save her. Gintoki broke his staff and got hit by a block. It should be funny, but this quickly plays off as a moment to recover the best sword of them all. He is the man that move ahead to the future, and Tatsuki's role is his companion. The metaphor and the narration makes the moment emotional. I could draw tears. I can't do it justice here, but the narrative flow is so good. Tatsuki passing out got me praying. That's how much I care. He did recover, but then the scene segued to one of the most unexpected, emotional scene this series gives so far. And that's saying a lot. Out of all people to give us an emotional speech, it's Usuro or Shoyo himself. In fact, this is the best part of the chapter aside from the ending. Although he appears as Shoyo, it is best to be reminded that he is the embodiment of all characters of himself within a body. In other words, he's everyone. Usuro, Shoyo, whoever. The idea is He acknowledged what and who he is, and nothing will change the fact he has long lived to experience many life decisions. Even when he did die before, the memory remains, including Edo defeating him in the war. Honestly, this series presented very well how awful immortality can be. He finally found the moment to die for good, and this is for the best. Shoyo's speech doesn't end there, but the scene does shift to Kazuro's and Hisugi to connect the narrative of the end of Shoyo. There are a few interesting notes here. Shoyo's speech ties into the moment where his heart was destroyed, because it truly is the end of him. Even if he were to gain a crystal, a replacement so to say, is only temporary. Basically, he's human, and anyone with his blood will die along with him eventually. Technically, this is a plot twist and a damn good one. I'll say it again. We're in the end game now. What really captures my interest is Hisugi as a character. I am stunned how Sorochi managed to make a mute guy and a third henchman into a sympathetic character. And I like it. It's another plot twist when you think about it. For a while, fans thought he's favoring Usuro to revive and restart the chaos once again. It turns out he is favoring him, but to put an end to his life, just as current Shoyo's wish. It amazes me how many of his disciples truly loves him and knows what's right. Clearly, he is the most beloved master. I don't know if this twist means other moments are red herring, but it's more like us looking at the wrong direction. I thought he was a slave to Tendoshu, when in reality, he knows what needs to be done, and reviving Usuro isn't it. What struck me the most is how he was able to understand the hardship and misery of Usuro as an immortal being. Even for a short while compared to Usuro's lifespan, it is a nightmare. So he wants to grant him death. What's up with the good writing making me feel sympathy for a character who is either evil or short-lived? I like how he wished the best for everyone associated with Usuro, a closure they deserve. Sleep well. The best portion of the speech is here. After you take it all in, with Shoyo's wish and how the effect come in play, we learn how he truly feels about everything. It's pretty emotional. His final move is to collide with Altana and cancel out the destruction to save Edo. It's his only way to save a life, and yet he cannot save the loved ones that are his disciples. I don't recall if I said this before, and it doesn't need to be said, but I'll say it now. Shoyo is a tragic character. He has been a great character, villain or not. Usually a character can be good in one criteria, like a good person but a crappy villain, or vice versa. Shoyo can work well for multiple roles. This is why he is well liked in the community. Because of good writing and sheer investment of these characters, I can sympathize his misery of not able to do well as a mortal, can't save not one disciple. Even offering a life with his own blood, it only brought tragedy. When he cries, shoot, I begin to cry. He didn't deserve this. He can make a great protagonist in a tragic series. I can't say that's a compliment. It's sad as hell. Life truly sucks, and yet he cannot die. The chapter is covered with plot twists, so it might as well have one more, and it's the most shocking one. Imagine the mood you're in after reading heartbreaking words from each character. You're overwhelmed with emotions. Then the twist to top them all happens with a sheer suspense. A page left me wondering until blood is spilled. Toski stabs Shoyo, and it is gut-wrenching to fathom it. The twist is Toski is gone, for now at least, and Usuro has taken over the body. Wow, I didn't see this coming. In fact, the way I saw it before this chapter was Usuro is back in his own body and going to fight Toski before Gintoki arrives. Never would I guess Toski loses conscience to Usuro, but it makes a lot of sense. That's why we needed to see Tendoshu as fallen victims to Usuro. It all lined up well for this twist to happen. That said, it's painful for Toski to be the man to kill his beloved master, before his very eye. Someone in the Reddit pointed this out, and it's sadly true. Both eyes witnessed the tragic fate with tears and death. Hasn't he suffered enough? Bottom line, Usuro is the final boss, and it all comes down to the final scene. I absolutely love the atmosphere of the aftermath of Altana destruction. Usuro delivered bone-chilling words about Shoyo. Once again, dies without saving anything. That's just dark. After his line, the rest of the chapter goes silent, and the visual storytelling kicks into high gear. What I love about this is how it is setting up for the final stage, for the final battle. Gintoki is out of the rubble, resuming his chase for Shoyo. He arrives to the place only to see his master dead. That's awfully sad that he couldn't fulfill the one path to see it through. And ironically, it's because of Tatsuki. The image of seeing your close friend being the murderer is morbid and disheartening. It's even worse when Tatsuki sadistically smiles one more time before Usuro completely takes over. Gintoki can't catch a break at all. The sad part is, he has to kill the two of his loved one for the price of one. This series is cold when it truly needs to be. As sad it is, I can't contain my excitement. The last shot with Gintoki and Usuro standing got me floored with amazing amount of hype. Two men with a mission, the sun in the background, everything that has built up to this point. That shot is pure hype. It's the final destination level of the final boss. This is Metal Gear Solid 4 final fight level of greatness. This is whatever you think is the best final stage tier. This is the end game. The whole arc has been stellar because it is more grounded, personal, and emotional. Have it end with the war arc. It would have been pretty good, but not enough for total satisfaction. Granted, it was a solid war arc, best in shonen category, and opinions will vary, but a condensed concentration on few characters rather than everyone is much easier to digest, and the pacing flows more naturally. This is why the ending is shaping up to be incredible. Even if it is taking forever due to multiple trolls, fans will get the satisfaction they deserve, let alone Sorochi himself. Bottom line, this chapter was outstanding for its incredible emotional roller coaster from various characters, excellent build-up for the final battle, and plenty of great panel shots with deep intensity and excitement. I can't do justice on this atmospheric trip, especially the last couple of pages, but I had chills. The next chapter is hype of the hype. I have to think which soundtrack to use for the final battle. This is it. There's no other way. Gintoki versus Usuro as Tatsuki. It all ends here. And that will do it for the review. I hope you enjoyed this one. Well, it's finally ending. We can't deny it any longer. And if Sorochi does start a new manga, I'm all 100% support. But we'll see how this one ends before we can say what a true masterpiece this was. What do you think of the chapter? Share your thoughts in the comment section. If you like this and want more of this, subscribe to my channel and my world will be yours to stay. Until next time, take care.